Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my Pick a Card video. So today I've got a lovely question for you. What will my wedding be like, or what will your wedding be like? So this can be one that you've got planned, maybe you've just got engaged, or you're completely single and you're just curious about the future. Please remember that nothing's set in stone, everything's changeable. So whether if you come up with a reading that you don't like the sound of but seems entirely credible, you can change things, you can improve your chances of a fabulous wedding. But I'm assured that all of you have an absolutely wonderful wedding no matter what. So I've made out 4 different readings. I've put 4 cards on just to give them names, so the cards don't have any relevance to the reading, so don't go ahead and choose based on that. I want you to carry on and close your eyes and feel attracted using your instincts and your intuition to the reading that will most resonate with the wedding that you will have. So I've got option 1, which is bay leaves, option 2, which is tea tree, option 3, which is yarrow, and option 4, which is rose. So close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. When you feel open and ready for the answer, ask yourself the question, what will my wedding be like? Then don't overthink it, don't doubt yourself, just go ahead and make your choice. And when you've done that, please go ahead and click on one of the timestamps that I've put in the description box, and I've also pinned it in the top comment section. If you want a bit more time to do that, then please go ahead and press pause, because I'm now moving on to the readings. Okay then, number 1's the bay leaves. Can you see that? This is your wedding. So we're going to start off with the top row, which represents the month before the big day, the month before your wedding day. And just to repeat, I'm going to say straight off, this isn't a bad reading, but just in case you're like, oh no, that, because everybody gets really anxious on their wedding day, you know, particularly the bride, which I imagine most of you are imagining yourself as the bride, as per my demographics from the YouTube algorithms tells me. So I would say not to get too stressed out, but also all little things can be ignored. The big important thing is that you're getting married to your partner. So the month before that you get married, absolutely nothing goes wrong, basically. You've got the Ace of Cups, the World, the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands. You are absolutely in love with each other. You're on top of the world. Your cup overfloweth. Everything's happening. It's all you've got the world in your lap. Everything's there for you. You're beginning a brand new life. You're completing the section of your life where you're single. You're not single anymore. Yeah, maybe you've been in a relationship with this person, but you're now going to be with them in a committed relationship, legally binding. Some of you, it may not be your first big relationship or your first marriage even, but that doesn't matter. You're starting afresh with this person and everything seems possible. You're full of options and possibilities. The life seems exciting and just the world is your oyster, and you're absolutely getting out there, learning new things, enjoying the world. You know, there's always going to be the appointments that you keep in regards to a wedding, like making sure the catering's going well, final measurements for dresses, for your wedding dress and bridesmaid dresses, and all the little things. So you're going to have that sort of excitement going on, but I think you might be travelling a bit even, some of you, maybe because you're going to places where you have to travel to go to the appointment at the wedding dress shop. But it's just full of excitement. You're just bubbling over with loving energy that you're excited to be getting married. That's it. Excited to be getting married. Full of things going on. I'm full of excitement. Anything's possible. So you get to the big day, and on your wedding day, it's again just Beautiful. You fuse together. You offer each other, you commit, you get married, you know, two become one. And I just feel that you're on top of the world. The day's great. That there's all this love and abundance between the two of you, that you're just not, you're lacking nothing. There's just, everything's perfect. And it's perfect for both of you, that you're both happy with the day, and that the success of the day is guaranteed because the happiness of the two of you have been assured. So like, if you want a small wedding, they want a small wedding, you get a small wedding. If you want a big wedding, they want a big wedding, you get a big, you know what I'm saying? Is that both you and the groom, or you and the bride, are very happy with the day. And that just increases your feeling of ecstasy and abundance and happiness, and that you are perfect and they are perfect and you're perfect together. And there's just this absolute loving, nurturing, committed energy where you love and support each other. That for you, no one else exists but the two of you on this day. It's lovely that everyone else has come, but the whole purpose of this day is for the two of you to unite in matrimony. And that's all that matters. And I think as well, what's an important thing that sticks out for me with this card here is that you've dealt with all the things that could ruin this relationship. You've sort of dealt with all the issues. You've learnt to deal with each other and sort of agree on the important things and agree to let the small things slide. And for some of you, I think for just a few, if you're not for all of you, if there's been an ex on your side or their side that's been causing a few problems in this union, on the wedding day, that's all dispelled. They're gone out of it. It's just like, no, it's you and this person, or, you know, you and your partner are now connected, and this third party, they're gone. They're in their history. They're in the past. They're not relevant. So just in case any of you have had troubles with their ex or your ex, I think the ex is going to accept that it's over and that you are now with this new person, your husband or wife, and vice versa. Their ex is going to accept that they're now with you. She's beautiful. There's just full of love and commitment. This is a really beautifully loving reading. Yeah, just full of union. It's just a dream wedding. I just want to say it's like a dream wedding of... I almost feel that if anything goes wrong, of which I've got no indication here that things are going to go wrong, but if they do, it doesn't matter. You don't care. If, you know, some kid trips up and, you know, ruins the wedding cake, you're just going to laugh because it doesn't matter. You've got each other. If one of your relatives gets far too drunk and embarrasses themselves, you're just going to like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've got each other, and that's all that matters. This just feels like actually a small, intimate, loving wedding where the whole point is for you two to unify. It doesn't feel like a society wedding or a really expensive, big, lavish wedding where there's a couple of hundred people and it costs an arm and a leg to pay, you know, to pay for it all. It just feels small and intimate. So moving on to the important thing, which is the wedding night. So I think it's going to be really late by the time you actually get to the bridal suite. I think you're just going to be having fun, lots of partying or whatever. I think that you're going to be absolutely keen to consummate the marriage. But I think one or other or both of you has lightly drunk a bit too much. It's like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is a bit too drunk, is all I'm trying to say. So maybe some of you can just say, oh, let's calm down on the drink, otherwise, you know, not much is going to be happening for some of you. I hate to say that, but I'm just saying is someone's going to be a bit too drunk. But I think you really, really want to. I think there's a real desire there to be together and to say consummate the marriage. And I think what's going to happen is that you're going to have to, I want to say take a break, have something to eat and try and sober up. because I've got the picture here where she's cooking and he's sitting there watching her miserable. So I feel like she's just going to be like, I'm just going to eat this food then, you know, and I'm just going to watch TV or something, you know, because I get the impression he's drunk too much. And if you're watching and you expect it to be with, you know, a she, one of you's just drunk too much. But I think that you come together and you manage it. I think that you do manage something, but you're just going to have to, you know, communicate, give it a break, and just sort of allow this alcohol to disperse. Because you're good with each other. So I don't think there's no bitterness here. It's just sort of, God, we're just too drunk. We'll wait till the morning. Which it doesn't matter. I mean, it's your marriage, your wedding. You're having such a lovely day. And there's so much love between you that I feel you're not upset about it. I think some of you might, if you're a bit, you know, you like bring sex toys into it or something like that, to get things going. Some of you, if you're that way inclined, will watch a bit of porn. But if you're not that kind of person, you don't obviously have those things happen on your wedding night because it's your wedding night. It's up to you. But I feel some of you are just going to try and make things happen. You're going to really push to make the things happen and really have to put a bit more effort into it. I don't think it's going to be like a dream, like everything just falls into place. I think on the wedding night, you have to put more effort in. Everything else is super easy in the reading, but the wedding night, it's really late, you've drunk too much, you might just go to sleep. Sorry. You might have to put a lot of effort into it to get what you want. That's it. I think you've got a great wedding. Just if you want a great wedding night, watch the drink. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I do love listening to everybody's comments. And if you are getting married in the near future, I wish you very much good luck for the day. I hope all your planning works out brilliantly. Congratulations. Take care of yourself and goodbye. Okay, those that chose number 2, tea tree. This is your wedding. I'll just repeat because I always think it's important when I'm doing readings that are sort of predictive, which is incredibly difficult because everything's always changing. And this is what I want to tell you is that if there's anything that comes out in any reading you ever have that you listen to in tarot, you can change the outcome. It's not set in stone. You can improve the odds of success and sort of prevent problems from occurring. So I don't want you to feel that this is set in stone and this is the only outcome of marriage for you. You can change things. So I'll split it into 3, which is the month before the wedding day itself, and the wedding night. The month before the wedding, I think you're going to have sort of wedding day jitters, as we would call it here in the UK. I don't know what you call it where you come from, but it's doubt. I think you're going to have doubts that you're doing the right thing, if I'm honest. I think there's a lot of defensiveness going on, whether that's to do with other family members or you against your partner or a mixture of all the two. Weddings are very stressful, and quite a lot of relatives don't seem to recognise that it's the happy day between the bride and the groom, or the bride and the bride, the groom and the groom, whatever your thing is. They think the wedding's about them. They don't understand it. It's about the commitment between 2 people to love and cherish each other and spend the rest of their lives together. And so they create a lot of tension in a relationship towards the wedding because they can't keep the noses out, basically. And you might have that. For some of you, it's not about family members. You've got tension in the relationship between you and your partner. And I think there's just a feeling, however this tension comes about, where you're really defensive. You're really, I think, fighting for yourself for the wedding, or fighting against to do what you believe is right and against what you believe is wrong. And I think you feel really in some ways trapped and blind. I think you feel you can't see a way out towards getting the happy outcome that you want. But there is a way out. It might involve taking a course of action that you know is going to bring you trouble or that you don't necessarily want to do. But there is a way out. But I think in this month before the wedding, you're going to feel quite bruised, a bit battered, that it's been a bit of a battle to get to this point, and it's not over yet because you've got, it's, a month or less towards the wedding. So I'm saying you're going to be quite stressed out. This is actually quite normal for weddings. This is what I'm trying to reiterate to you. It's normal. And I think you're really trying to balance things out between you and your partner, or you and the issues that are causing you problems in this relationship. I think it might be a matter of money. For some of you, it could be that the wedding itself is expensive and maybe it's too expensive, or you're trying to balance the budget because there's always something that someone calls up and says, oh, can I bring my new partner to your wedding? And you haven't budgeted for an extra mouth to feed and all this kind of stuff. And I just think you're trying to balance things out, trying to keep the equilibrium, trying to make sure you don't give too much, you don't take too much, that everything's balanced economically and emotionally, I would also, in terms of security. And I think you're just trying to do that throughout this month. So it's important to keep your stress levels low in this month before the wedding, and to remember why you're getting married to this person and what you want. The wedding itself is just a day. What really matters is the marriage afterwards. Yeah. So we get to the big day. It looks to me you probably listened to the advice I've just given, because I think there's a lot of feeling that you're just going to overcome the issues, that you're going to let go of whatever the problems have been on the past leading up to the day, and you just want to enjoy it. And there is a sense of transformation in that you're letting go of the old and making way for the new. For some of you, this is your first wedding, maybe your first big relationship or something like that. Or even if it's, a second or even third marriage, it doesn't matter. You're letting the old go. You're now going to be this new entity with this new person. Some of you are going to take their name, literally take a brand new identity on. And both of you, I think, are letting it go. You're starting afresh. You're accepting that, that you've got to work together and work towards your happiness. And I think there's got to be lots of talking still throughout the day. You're going to be chatting a lot to people. I think you're going to be you and your partner are going to be trying to get time alone to discuss things. And I think you're going to be, like when you're the bride and groom or whatever your partner, your relationship status is, everybody wants a piece of you. And I get the feeling that you don't want that. I think you want a bit of time ago. And I think you want to deal with there's still been a bit of stress between the two of you. And I think that you just want to be alone, to just enjoy each other, to remember why you're getting married and why you're doing this with each other. And I think there's this knowledge that the two of you need to come together willingly. You both need to come together in order to have a happy marriage, because it's no good if one of you sort of hesitant and the other one's like, no. If one of you going too far to try and ensure this is a happy day or even relationship, it's not balanced, and you're trying to find balance. So you're trying to do it where you both meet in the middle. And I think you're both aware of that, and you're both working towards it throughout the day to overcome the stresses that have led up to this wedding day. And I think you're going to do it. So I think the day starts off with that. I think it's something that's maintained, but I think overall that you have a good wedding day, because so far this really feels like the reading where you've both really committed to overcoming the past and moving in towards the future. And I think it's been hard for a lot of you to do that, but you're so committed you can only ever have success with that. I think, one of you is really convinced, come on, we can have a great day, we can do this, There's a desire to be together on this. And I think it's a desire that overwhelms all the rubbish that's gone before. Maybe you wanted a big wedding and you could only afford a small one. But that's not important. It's nice, but it's not important. So we're coming to your wedding night. I'm going to say for some of you, this is your first sexual experience. Some of you, you know, maybe religious reason, whatever, but this is your first experience with them, maybe. Maybe you've decided you're going to go traditional and you're not going to be with them. Because there's a lot to do with inexperience in these cards. So you're not been together much sexually, or you've not been together sexually at all. And so there's shyness, but then there's also inhibition. So I think the worries and the concerns about it are overcome. But the message within it is that, particularly if this is your first sexual experience, is that it might be a bit quick, it might be over quicker than you expect. It might not be what you expect. It's something where you've got to go within yourself to be mature and understand that reality is different to fantasy, or, you know, it just still comes across that there's work to be done between the two of you. I wonder if, like, for some of you, you might have had a bit of a fight. But there's a feeling that with the wedding night, that there's more to learn, that this is the beginning of the journey between the two of you. So that although it might seem for some of you like it's just starting off small, it doesn't matter. The sexual relationship in particular is to be progressed. This is the beginning of your marriage and the beginning of your relationship, and it's something that you need to carry on working on throughout your married life. Because, yeah, there's just this feeling here that, like, you think, well, is that it? And the answer's no. There's more. There's more to be had in this. So, especially if it's, like I say, your first, sexual experience. There's more to be had in developing this relationship between the two of you. So I think there's tension and there's sort of things that you feel battered about, that you've got to fight and defend what you want. You've got to fight for what you want. And you do, and you fight for what you want, and I think you're going to get it. But I don't think that it's going to be a fairy tale romance thing where suddenly everything's all right, at the end of the wedding. I think you're going to feel that, yeah, there's still more to be achieved. But that's good, because all relationships develop and change, and you're aware of that, and you wanting to work for what's really important between the two of you. Yeah, I think this is a good reading. This feels to me like a triumph, that you triumph over all obstacles. And although a lot of you are thinking, what do you mean I don't have my magical night? It could be really, really magical. The tarot cards aren't going to tell me everything that's going to go on your wedding night. It's just giving me a general vibe, which is that this is new for you. You feel, I think one or other of you are going to feel really inexperienced, that you don't know what you're doing, but that you're learning, and you're going to improve, and things are just going to get better, and that's true. So I'm going to leave that reading there for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments section if it made any sort of sense to you. Please like and subscribe as well as comment. If this is a wedding that's coming up, I really wish you all the best for your big day, and really wish you good luck for it. You remember the reasons why you're getting married, which is that you want to spend the rest of your life with this person, and if you keep that in mind, everything will be okay. It's really important to remember that it's not the wedding day that's really important, it's the marriage. So you take care. Thanks for listening, and goodbye. Okie dokie, so number 3, Yarrow. This is your reading. So, because I know a few of you skip ahead of my introductions, if there's anything that you don't like in the reading or that disturbs you, things can be changed. Tarot is not set in stone. You can mitigate things. You improve your chances of success by listening to what the reading is and taking steps to avoid it. So don't worry too much about, this. You can always make things better. But the quick, too long didn't listen. this isn't a bad reading, so I just want to reassure you before we get on and enjoy it. So I've set it up where it's a month before the wedding day, and the wedding night. So starting off, the month before your wedding, I think you're going to have the usual jitters, the usual sort of, oh my God, I'm getting married in a month, or I'm getting married in a week. You know, there's lots of sort of hopping from one foot to the other, spinning plates, you're taking calls, people are contacting you last minute about details of the big day, you're finalising things about the food, the flowers and all this kind of stuff. I think you're going to feel very up in the air that everything's just happening and it's all happening all of a sudden. Especially if you're someone that, you know, you plan your wedding a year in advance, you know, you spend a year saving up and paying for these things. All of a sudden it's going to be there. And I think that sort of like catches you on the hop, that the nerves set in about. So be aware, about a month before the wedding, you're going to start feeling it. See, I'm starting to feel it now, just read my words. But you are going to see things clearly. So, you know, this is good because sometimes, like with wedding readings, generally like in private ones as well, it comes across that people are just sort of like overwhelmed by it. I don't think that you are, and I don't think your partner is either. I think you're both clear about this, and I think you both love each other and are emotionally balanced and are caring about the other person's emotions. And even though there's a lot going on, it's not totally overwhelming you. I think it's quite weirdly exciting for the both of you. I think, you know, what I'm picking up from this is that for maybe, you know, the two of you, this has been a long time coming. Maybe you've been together for a long time and only managed to be in a position to marry now. Or maybe both of you have been trying to find the right person for a long time and now you've finally got them. And I almost feel like you can't believe your luck. So it's like all you care about is that you've got the other person. And the wedding itself, it's just lots of things going on. It's exciting, but you can see things clearly. You don't lose your head. And sometimes, as I say, in wedding readings, people really come across that they're really anxious and they've almost lost their head over the wedding. And so I want to reassure you lot that, you know, if things carry on the way they are in life, that you won't have that. And I think there'll be lots of chaos going on around you and your person, but that you'll both be quite chill about it, because both of you have your eye on the long game. For you, the wedding is just the day. The real aim is the wedding. It's not the wedding, it's the marriage. Because we've got the Seven of Pentacles, you're looking at, you know, tending the crop so that it's ripe to be picked. The wedding is just a nice day. You're making sure everything's going to be happening for the day, but what's really important is the life that you share afterwards. This is really healthy. This really, to be honest, the whole reading comes across as really healthy, is that you're just going to be patient and you're just going to be like, yeah, I'll speak to them on that day, I'll deal with that day, blah blah blah, yeah, and then we get married, and then, yeah, it's just chill. There's just lots going on, but you manage it. Maybe you're just very, very good at dealing with lots of things going on. Maybe you're very organised and used to chaotic environments. But I'm really, really attracted to this card, the Seven of Pentacles, that you have the wisdom to know when to pick the crop, is the way I'll put it. When to take action and when not to. And the wisdom of waiting for things to mature and ripen. So yeah, you're just chilled, relaxed, lots of things going on, have a bit of, oh, it's happening and I've got to deal with all these different things, but it's exciting, not stressful. On the wedding day, the next one, the wedding day itself, it's just lovely. There's this feeling, you've got three major arcanas. You've got the Magician, the Chariot, and the Empress. And then you've got the Six of Chalices, the Six of Cups. There's this feeling of, we've made it happen. One of you, I think, in particular, is like, I have made this happen. They feel like the conqueror. They're like, I've got them. I've got that ring on their finger or on my finger. I've got them. I've made it happen. There's this feeling that you've both really succeeded in this, in getting each other. And I feel there's a point where it was like almost you were worried you weren't ever going to get married or ever be with this person and actually have this level of commitment. You know, there might be some things that happen on the day where, you know, there's those little things that go wrong that suddenly stress you out. Normally they wouldn't bother you at all, but they're amplified 1,000 times on your wedding date. You know, it's a mountain out of a molehill, but it's overcome. And I think there's this sense of organisation and being practical. But yeah, I really get the feeling that one of you is like, I have made this happen. I went, I wooed them, I seduced them, I've got them. They didn't think that it was going to end up this way when we started off, but, you know, I knew that we were going to get married. That's the feeling I get. And there's this dispelling of the past. There's a letting go of the past. The old failures are defeated. So whatever's happened in the past with relationships, they're over and done with. You know, there might be moments where you think of, you know, especially for some of you, maybe this is a second marriage or, you know, more than that, where you look back and think of your old wedding days or something, but it's with a fondness, it's with a sadness, it's gone in the past. It's not in the present. You have a present right now. And in this new wedding day, you are abundant. There's this absolutely, you've got the two, what I describe as the two major manifesting cards here, the Magician and the Empress. The Magician makes things come out of nothing. He materialises things out of nothing. But the Empress, you give her something small and she will grow it. So there's this feeling here that on this wedding day, that this is something small, the one day, and from it a marriage will grow. That you will both be abundant and that you will both create, either if you're young enough and it's your desire to create life, that you are now going to be thinking about starting a family for some of you. But you are absolutely creating a new life for yourself as a married couple. You know, in, you know, your house together, in your life with your jobs, or even if there's not children or pets included and it's just the two of you, it doesn't matter. You're creating a new life for yourself. You're letting go of the past and you're moving on together. And one of you's very pleased about it. They really feel the victor. Might be you, might be them. So on the wedding night, what I get the feeling that happens is that one of you, and I'm leaning towards the bride, or, you know, but one partner for certain has gone up early to get, this is why I'm saying the bride. I almost feel that there's this sort of, I'm going up to get my dress off, to, you know, get freshened up. You can come into the hotel room to me. And they take ages to come. Maybe they're having another dance. Maybe they're having another few drinks because they're having such a great time. And they finally get into the hotel room. And maybe you is just there like going, what time do you think this is? What do you think you were doing? You were supposed to come. I've been waiting here for ages, all on my own, on my wedding night. Look at you. And I always feel that he's sort of like, oh, come on, don't be all mad. And the energy changes from being annoyed and sort of annoyed with them to having fun. I think there's a playfulness and a joviality. They're not going to let you stay miserable at all. This is your wedding night. And I think you just start to have fun with each other. You loosen up, you have a laugh. I don't think that there's any energy here about people being, there's just such light energy, sort of don't bear a grudge, really sensible, practical, you know, doesn't get fazed by anything. So there's a bit of annoyance, but then they're like, nah, come on, we're going to have a good time tonight. And you do. And I think you have a lovely, lovely night together, where you're just really happy. And it's just really intimate and loving between the two of you, because you do love each other and you do want each other, and you're preparing to live the life that you've manifested for you. I feel that both of you separately have manifested this wedding. I think you both really wanted to meet someone to spend your life with, and then you met each other and you recognised that you were right for each other. And although there was perhaps something maybe from the past for one or both of you that you're like, well, now I'm with this person, it's wonderful, but I've got to let go of what has happened before. And there's a little bit of tinge of sadness over that. But you let it go because you realise that what you're going to get is so much more important than what you've had in the past that failed. But your wedding night's going to be great. You're going to have lots of love. You're going to play with each other. You're going to be lighthearted, and you're just going to enjoy each other and have, I think, great sex. To be blunt, I think you're going to have great sex because you're not going to hold a grudge. You're just going to have, it's their wedding day too. And if they wanted to stay and have another pint of beer with their brother or something, or dance with their mum one last time, or their dad one last time, yeah, it's really lovely and intimate. The wedding night, with full of laughter. There's real fun here. I just feel that they pick you up and chuck you on the bed and say, oh, come on, don't be silly. Might tickle you or something, make you laugh, and then start to have fun. This is a lovely day. This is a lovely wedding. This is a lovely coming up to the wedding, a lovely wedding day. You're just feeling victorious and on top of the world and abundant, and then you have a great laugh on the wedding night and have great sex. What more could you ask for? So if this is your wedding coming up, feel reassured. If it's far in the future, I hope you meet them soon. But yeah, if this is your wedding coming up and you're watching it because you have got a wedding coming up, I wish you all the best for your wedding day, and please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me. Don't forget to leave your comments to let me know what you think of the reading, and goodbye. Right, okay then, number 4, who chose the rose? Romance. I wonder how many of you just chose this reading because it says rose and romance, and that seems something that you would have for your wedding day. Well, let's hope your instincts proved right. So what I've done is split it into the month before the wedding day, and the wedding night. And just to remind you, for those that skip ahead of my introduction, you can change everything about this wedding. It hasn't happened yet. Some of you are engaged, you're thinking about the wedding that's coming up. Others of you, this is in the distant future. Even if this is coming up and this is the month before the wedding, you can change things. So don't worry about that. So the month before the wedding, it's all high energy because you've got 4 major arcana. You've got the moon, the fool, the empress and the star. So you're just full of, this is your wedding day, the new beginning, full of hope that you're going on an exciting adventure, that you're manifesting your life, that you've been proposed to, or you've proposed to someone else, and you are creating your new world for yourself and your partner. I think that you're going to be really tapping into your subconscious. By that I mean you might be dreaming a lot, or you might be going into your inner world a lot, your inner subconscious, where things that your conscious brain isn't allowing you to acknowledge, your subconscious brain is allowing to come forward, perhaps through dreams. But you're absolutely looking for a new beginning, and you're looking to create the abundant life that you want, that you're trying to create, a home for yourself, that, maybe you already live with this person or whatever, but you're absolutely trying to create the abundance in your own life and the vitality, and to have the earth mother energy to be fertile. And that's not only like physically fertile as in literally out having babies, but it's absolutely fertility in the what you grow into your life, that feeling of abundance. And I think you're really wishing on the star, you're really hopeful that everything's going to come out all right. I mean, every bride and groom sort of wants and hopes that their wedding, their big day is going to be absolutely perfect. But there's a real feeling here that there's just high energy of aspiration towards this wedding that's coming up and towards your future. There's a real wishful energy towards it. And I think why you're filled with that energy is revealed in the wedding day and the wedding night cards. Because when we come to the wedding day, it doesn't have good energy. I'm going to have to say to you that this doesn't come across as a good energy for your wedding day. And I feel really bad saying that, because it should always be like, oh, it's going to be wonderful. But it doesn't come across. And I'm wondering now that's why you've got all these cards about your hope and aspirations. I think you're trying to make this situation good. You really want this situation to be good. I think you're going to be fighting a lot. I think there's going to be bits of fighting, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be tension and things going on this wedding day. There's going to be lots of people partying around you, and it's all going to be full of high energy people drinking. I think that after the ceremony is just going to be full of, high energy partying, lots of drink. But I think that for you and perhaps for your partner, there's just this tension, there's this feeling here that one of you is having too much fun with someone else, maybe for some of you. But the other person, there's just trying to come round. There's just this offering. There's constant offerings later in the night of like trying to come, don't be annoyed with me. Don't be upset with me. And sort of this making promises, but they've got to be promises that they can deliver on. And I feel that one person, it feels rushed in a way. I'm wondering whether this wedding comes around quickly before either of you are properly ready for this relationship or for what's going on. Because there's a feeling here of offering the offering of the green lemon, which, before lemons are ripe, they're green. They're not limes, that's a completely different fruit, but they're green, and then when they ripen, they turn yellow, and then we use the lemons. And there's a feeling here that someone comes forward with an offering way too soon. So it's like you've had a big fight and argued, probably because of the stress of getting married or something, or you're drinking too much, this is our wedding day, and blah, blah. Or, you're not spending enough time with me, blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff. And someone just sort of, I want to say misreads it, sort of comes forward and tries to smooth it over. But it's just not going to come across well. And that's going to carry on into the wedding night, where there's this feeling that it's like, come on, it's our wedding night, it's our wedding day, it's our wedding night, let's just move on. And there's an offering, it's just a reminder that you're a family now, that you're a couple. There might be a wedding day gift, like you give each other gifts. Sometimes people give each other jewelry, and cufflinks and things like that, or as like wedding day gifts. But there's just a feeling here that the stress is high. That in fact the feeling that things are going to be smoothed over on the wedding night and everything's going to be fine afterwards is a deception, really. That in fact there might be deeper issues in this connection, that the wedding's meant to resolve them, but they don't. So what I'm going to say is, for some of you, you've got to make sure you're getting married to the right person for the right reasons, because some of you could end up getting caught out. And as well, if you've been fighting for whatever reason, you've got to completely resolve the issue between the two of you before you go ahead and have the wedding day. Because if you don't deal with whatever's going on between the two of you, it's absolutely going to trickle out and dominate the wedding day and the wedding night and just the whole thing. And you want the best start to your marriage that you can possibly get. I think there's a desire for you to be together. It feels like one person's really annoyed for some reason, and the other person's like creeping around them. Oh, come on, don't be annoyed. Oh, come on, let's be, or the other person's doing something where they want to have fun and they've upset the other person. Or, weddings are really, really stressful. I mean, it might not be the one partner, but I'm inclined to say it is the partner. because it bleeds onto the wedding day. But it could be that something external to the relationship, like relatives in the wedding, is an obvious choice, piss everybody off. They get everybody really annoyed, you know, between the bride and groom. But the one partner's like, I'm not letting them ruin my day. Come on, let's not let them ruin ours. And that's why they're trying to creep around. So it doesn't have to be something within the relationship. It can be something external. But, you know, I would always lean to making sure that everything's sound within the relationship before you make this kind of commitment to each other. But the wedding night isn't horrendous because we've got the Six of Wands. That's a success and happy family card. So I think that there's a connection and the love between the two of you. But there's something going on that you haven't resolved. And there's sort of this pretense that things are resolved, but they're not. They're not resolved. They're still lying underneath the waters of what's going on. My advice would be to always deal with these things so that, you know, you can change this and improve it so that you have a wonderful wedding day, which is what everybody should, you know, aspire to. But there's just something going on here where somebody, you know, misbehaves, does something they're like, you know, what are you doing? And the other person's mad about it. But I feel that this thing that the other person's doing isn't actually important to them. They're not doing something that they absolutely, I must, you know, do this. It's their wedding day. They're full of hope and aspirations as well. They're just so happy that it's almost nothing can diminish the day, and then they're quite surprised and upset that they've annoyed you. Oh, I'm leaning towards they've annoyed you. I don't know why. But for some of you, you've annoyed the other person. But I don't think there's any malicious intent there. I think they really want to deal with the bonds that, you know, smooth over the upset. And I think they think that they have smoothed over the upset, but you're still mad at them. And again, it could be vice versa, but I'm leaning towards more that some of you, this is your groom, he's drunk too much, he's annoyed you, or he's danced with the wrong girl, and he thinks he's smoothed it all over and everything's fine, and he's going to find out to his shock over the next few days that he's still remembering it. So that's it. I feel that it can be quite easily light-hearted to just down to the stress of the day. And for others of you, this is something much deeper that the both of you need to address and deal with. I feel it falls into two halves. So try not to get too stressed out about the day. Because it doesn't come across as a terrible day. I think there's just lots of fun going on. I think this is sort of the evening do. You know, when you've had the ceremony, everybody's eating, and then you get the disco out and the bar opens and everybody turns up that couldn't come for the day, and suddenly there's a room full of people. It's all like a nightclub, but with family members. That's the energy I'm getting for the wedding day. I'm not getting, so I feel the ceremony is fine because it's just not coming up in your reading about the ceremony or anything on the, you know, it just feels like the do at the end, as we would say here. I think you're tired and the stress of it gets you. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. Because what's striking me is the two women in two of the cards. You know, actually, there's three women in the three of these cards for the wedding night. You can't see any of their faces. So I think that the female is unreasonable. Not completely unreasonable. I don't want to sort of lay that on something that hasn't happened yet. But I think she's a bit like, I'm annoyed. And I think he's probably a bit too drunk to recognise the danger he's in. So that's your wedding. So yeah, I don't feel it's horrendous for a lot of you, but I think for some of you, the stress is going to get to you, and that there's something there that really annoys you, and it's better to deal with these things before, so that, you know, you can just have a nice day. But yeah, I think someone's going to perhaps get a bit too drunk. So I still think that Rose bears forth on the romance. I think it's not necessarily that romantic, but it sounds to me like a typical wedding night for a lot of people, where one partner gets too drunk, the other partner, they try and win back their partner who's annoyed with them. That sounds like marriage to me. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like, comment and subscribe. I do love listening to everybody's comments. And if you are getting married in the very near future, I wish you all the very best for your wedding day. I hope everything goes without a hitch, and it's just wonderful and magical for you both. But other than that, please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye.